So again I am here with a new topic for second sem. Atom, origin of spectra, Bohr's theory of hydrogen atom. This is also very important chapter regarding theory as well as numerical problem. Today I am going to explain some theory portion, then in next video rest of the portion I will explain. Then I will also tell you numerical portion. So I will make on this chapter 3 videos. Right? So please try to understand. Here I am going to discuss with you atom, origin of spectra, Bohr theory of hydrogen atom. So very first, here diagram is here. You can see this is about the experiment of Rutherford. This diagram is about the experiment of Rutherford. That experiment is known as alpha particle scattering experiment. Alpha particle scattering experiment. What is alpha particle scattering experiment? That I am going to explain now. In this experiment, what Rutherford did, he taken a gold foil. This is your gold foil, thin gold foil. He taken a thin gold foil and the alpha particles. Do you know what are alpha particles? I think most of you know that helium atom He24 helium atom is taken as helium atom. If you see here that are 2 protons, 2 neutrons and outside 2 electrons. If we take out these 2 electrons from helium atom, rest of the portion is alpha particle. Alpha particle. So as you know, proton have positive charge, so alpha particle have 2 unit positive charge. Very important thing you should understand, what is alpha particle. Alpha particle is positively charged particle. Actually at that time Rutherford want to know about the structure of atom. So he did an experiment. He taken thin gold foil. And then the alpha particles coming out from polonium. Polonium is a radioactive material. From that, alpha particles coming out are allowed to fall on that thin gold foil. That alpha particles coming out from the polonium allowed to fall on a thin gold foil. This whole arrangement is kept in vacuum. That alpha particles do not collide with the air molecules in their path. They go and fall on the gold foil straight. This whole arrangement is kept in a vacuum. So the alpha particles coming out from the polonium are allowed to fall on thin gold foil. When they fall on the thin gold foil, you can see here I made a figure, normal figure you can see. In that I shown most of the alpha particle pass straight. Most of the alpha particles pass straight through the gold foil. What type of charge I told you on alpha particle? I think you can recall that. I told you alpha particle have 2 unit positive charge. 2 unit positive charge. So that when they pass through this gold foil, most of the alpha particles pass straight through the gold foil without any deviation. Most of the alpha particles pass through the gold foil straight. After that, here he put a scalentination counter by which he is counting that alpha particle is moving with direction. So he saw that some of them are deflected at an angle. Some of them are deflected at an angle. थोड़े से मुड़ गए अपने पास से. They deflected. वो अपने पास से थोड़ा सा भाई you taken gold coil ली alpha particle bombarding from polonium takes place. Most of the alpha particle passed state. ज़्यादा alpha particle state निकली. Some of them are deflected. कुछ मुड़ गए from their path. And one or two are deflected at more than 90-degree angle. At more than, you can see here, this is bend more than 90-degree angle. More than 90-degree angle, they bend. Right? When they bend at more than 90-degree angle, after that, these observations, what happening? Most of the alpha particle passed state, right? Some of them are deflected at an angle, कुछ मुड़ गए थोड़ा सा. Some are, very few of them deflected at more than 90-degree angle. You can say out of 10,000, one alpha particle deflected at more than 90 degree. More than, so very few of them are deflected at more than 90 degree. By this experiment, he concluded few things. Because of alpha particle have positive charge. So it can be deflected by another positive charge. Positive repel each other. It is deflected. It means somewhere inside the atom there is some positive charge. Is it or not? So he assumes that most of the alpha particles pass state without deflection. So very first conclusion he made that most of the part of atom is hollow. Most of the part of atom is hollow. Most of the alpha particle passing straight. ज़्यादातर alpha particle straight pass हो गए. What is meaning of this? That most of the part of atom is hollow, but some of them are deflected, and out of them, some of them are very few of them are deflected at more than 90 degrees. That I told, out of 10,000, one particle deflected at more than 90 degrees. It means somewhere whole positive charge is concentrated in very small volume. As you know, atomic radius about, if we talk, 10 to the power minus 10 meter, approximately, atomic radius, right? So, this is atom. He concluded that out of that, because I told 10,000, out of 10,001, so 10,000 times smaller than atomic radius, there is a small portion where some positive charge is kept. So he assumed that most of the alpha particle pass straight, so most of the part of atom is hollow. Number two, some are deflected more than 90 degrees, very few are deflected. So whole positive charge and mass of atom is concentrated in a very small volume. Whole mass and positive charge of atom is concentrated in a very small volume. That he named that small space as nucleus. He assumed that inside the nucleus, whole mass and positive charge of atom is concentrated. After this, he also concluded by this that Coulomb's law is true for atomic distances also, because as soon as alpha particle comes very near to the nucleus, it is deflected at more angle. It means more force applied on that. Alpha particle which comes very close to the nucleus, that deflected at more than 90 degree angle. It means when distance between charge decreases, force increases. This is Coulomb's law, you know, F equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught K Q1 Q2 upon R square. Here, force between charges is inversely proportional to square of distance. So as distance increases, decreases, force increases. So it means this is also concluded that Coulomb's law is true for atomic distances also. Right? After this, he taken instead of gold foil some other metal foil. Why he taken gold foil? This is also a very important question. Because gold we can beat in very thin foil. Why is taken thin foil? That only one collision takes place. When alpha particle pass through that, then only one collision takes place, not too many collisions takes place. If foil, instead of thin foil, thick foil is there, then it will strike with 1, 2, 3 in that way. So he taken thin gold foil. And gold foil you can make thin as much as you want. So he taken gold foil. Right? And gold have also good positive charge. So by that it is deflected easily. So this experiment he repeated with other metals also. Then he came to know one more thing, that a particular angle, the number of alpha particles deflecting is different for different metal foil. क्या पता लगा उसको? जब डिफरेंट मेटल्स की उसने फाइल ली तो एक ही एंगल पे मुड़ने वाले अल्फा पार्टिकल के नंबर में चेंज हो रहा था. एक में कुछ मान लो 10, वहां उस एंगल पे मुड़ने वाले अल्फा पार्टिकल 10, तो दूसरे में उस एंगल पे मुड़ने वाले 12 या 8. So number of alpha particles reflecting at particular angle is changing when you change foil. It means charge on the nucleus of atom is different. And it is, just now, you all are doing chemistry and all, so you know very well that charge on the different nucleus is different. So he taken different metal foil. He concluded different metal foil. When he taken, then number of alpha particle deflected at particular angle is different. It means different atoms have different charge on their nucleus. On the basis, these are the facts. He concluded by alpha particle scattering experiment. Alpha particle scattering experiment. Again, I want to repeat. What he did, he taken gold foil bombarded by alpha particle coming out from the polonium. He saw most of the alpha particle pass the state, some of them are deflected. By that he concluded most of the part of atom is hollow. Then he concluded some are deflected at more than 90 degrees, it means some bare hole positive charge and mass are concentrated. That is named as nucleus. He assumed that atomic size is 10 to the power minus 10 meter, while nucleus size is 10 to the power minus 14 meter order. He concluded that. Right? And then he told after that that it is true also for Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law is also true for atomic distances. Then he concluded if we take different metal sheets instead of gold, then number of atoms deflected at particular angle change. It means different nucleus have different charge. This is all about alpha particle scattering experiment. Now I am coming at the distance of closest approach of alpha particle. In this experiment, how much close alpha particle can come? That I am going to tell you. Suppose that this is nucleus and this is alpha particle. As I told, nucleus have positive charge and alpha have also positive charge. What about alpha? I told that it is nucleus of helium atom. Nucleus of helium atom, it has 2 proton, 2 neutron. So its mass is 4 unit approximately. Charge is 2 unit. 2 unit is 3.2 into 10 to the power minus 19. So some alpha particle is moving toward nucleus, suppose that. When alpha particle will move toward nucleus, what type of energy alpha particle has? It is moving, it is in motion. So what type of energy that has? Kinetic energy. So alpha particle has kinetic energy. But when that alpha particle comes very close to the nucleus, after that it cannot move. Why? Because of repulsion. Alpha has positive charge, nucleus has positive charge. Alpha is coming toward the nucleus. nucleus is repelling alpha at a particular distance, then that repulsive force become enough that it stops their motion. At that time, their whole of the potential energy, kinetic energy, converted into the potential energy. Whole kinetic energy. Right? Very fast alpha is moving toward the nucleus. What type of energy that have? Kinetic. When this whole of kinetic energy converted in potential energy, then that is the distance of closest approach. Further it cannot move. So, what is, suppose the nucleus. This is nucleus. Nucleus have atomic number, you all know, I think, atomic number. Number of protons inside the nucleus is known as atomic number. Number of protons inside the nucleus, that is represented by Z. Z is atomic number. So, what is potential energy formula? This is formula in first term. U equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught K. Don't write K, no problem. Q1, Q2 upon R square. Don't write K. In air or vacuum, the value of K is 1. For air or vacuum, the value of K is 1. So what I written? U equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1, Q2 upon R square. This is your formula for potential energy. Now, here we are writing 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Q1 means charge on nucleus. What is charge on nucleus? Ze. What is Z? Atomic number. Number of protons inside the nucleus. What is E? E is charge on electron. That is same charge proton. What is difference between them? Electron have negative charge while proton have positive charge. So on nucleus charge is Ze. Z number of protons inside the nucleus. E charge on electron into 2e. 2 is the charge on alpha particle. Charge on, so upon R0 square. Suppose that R0 is the distance of closest approach. R0 is the distance of closest approach. So you can write here R0 square equal Z 2ZE square upon U. But what is U equal to? U equal to K. So R0 square equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2ZE square upon K. This is your formula for distance of closest approach. Any problem? Now, Rutherford given an atomic model on the basis of alpha particle scattering experiment. On the basis of, sorry, I written here wrong. I'm sorry. You should understand potential energy formula. U equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R. Not RG, R square. So here it is R. I'm sorry for this. So R0, this is distance of closest approach. R0 equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2ZE square upon K. Again I want to repeat, this alpha particle is coming towards the nucleus. Alright, when it comes very close to nucleus, then the whole of their kinetic energy converted in potential energy. What is potential energy formula? U equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 upon R. U 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. What is Q1? Charge on nucleus Ze. Charge on alpha particle 2e or not. R naught you take in this side. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2ZE square upon U. This is your formula. U equal to K, as you know, because whole of the kinetic energy converted. So this is distance of closest approach. Now I am coming at Rutherford's model of atom. On this experiment, he given a model that is named as Rutherford model. What is that? According to Rutherford model, whole positive charge, I think I can remove this. because this experiment you all understand very well. According to Rutherford, whole positive charge and mass of atom is concentrated in a very small volume that is named as nucleus. Whole positive charge, whole protons and neutrons, and mass of the atom is due to proton and neutron. So proton and neutron are concentrated in a very small volume that is named as nucleus. Whole positive charge and mass of atom is concentrated in a very small volume that is named as, and around that electrons are moving some here, some here, some here. Electrons are moving like this, right? According to Rutherford, electrons are moving like this. Electrons are moving like this. These are electrons moving like this surrounding the nucleus. Right? So, when electron will move around the nucleus, it is attracted by nucleus because electron have negative charge while nucleus have positive charge. So attractive force will work between the nucleus and electron. This force provides the required centripetal force for the motion of, as you all know, in uniform circular motion, a force always acts toward the center, that is known as centripetal force. In first year class, by what is uniform circular motion? When a particle is moving with constant speed on a circular path, then that type of motion is known as uniform circular motion. So in uniform circular motion, a force acts toward the center, that is known as centripetal force. So here when electron will move around the nucleus, it also requires a centripetal force. That centripetal force is provided by the electrostatic force acting between electron and nucleus. The electrostatic force acting between electron and nucleus that provides what is centripetal force? In uniform circular motion, the force acting towards center is known as centripetal force. So force will act. Nucleus and electron, they attract each other. Electron is attracted by nucleus. So that force is provide them centripetal force to move around the nucleus. This is Rutherford's atomic model. He told that number of electrons and protons inside the atom are same. This is all about Rutherford's model of atom. Very first he told, main thing is this, he told about nucleus. That whole mass and positive charge concentrated in a small volume, that is named as nucleus, and electrons are moving around the nucleus in their orbits. Right? When they are moving, the required centripetal force is provided by electrostatic force acting between electron and nucleus. But this model have drawbacks. Number one, regarding stability of atom. According to electrodynamic theory, when a charged particle in motion, it radiates energy in form of radiation. इलेक्ट्रोडायनामिक थ्योरी कहती है जब कोई चार्ज पार्टिकल मोशन में होता है तो बराबर एनर्जी का रेडिएशन के रूप में एमिशन करता है. सो स्लोली देयर एनर्जी डिक्रीजेस, तो जिससे उसकी धीरे धीरे एनर्जी क्या होती है, कम होती है. राइट. सो अबाउट स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ एटम, व्हाट दे टोल्ड, according to electrodynamic theory, when electron move around the nucleus, suppose that electron was here, it is moving on circular path, right? When it will move on circular path, then its energy decreases. When their energy decreases, then instead of that path, it starts covering this path, then again on this path, then again on this path. and finally electron will fall inside the nucleus. भाई बात समझ लो, इलेक्ट्रॉन जैसे सपोज दैट यू आर इन अ फील्ड, आप एक फील्ड में हैं एंड आप चक्कर लगा रहे हैं किसी, मान लीजिए सपोज दैट आप स्टेडियम में हैं, फर्स्ट राउंड आपने फुल स्टेडियम का लिया, दूसरा भी लिया, सपोज दैट यू आर अ गुड रेसर, 4-5 राउंड आपने ले लिए, बट स्लोली योर एनर्जी डिक्रीजेज एंड योर साइज ऑफ सर्कल डिक्रीजेज. अब एक उतना राउंड लेना आपको मुश्किल लगेगा, छोटा लेंगे, फाइनली यू फॉल डाउन. सिमिलरली इलेक्ट्रॉन जब एनर्जी का रेडिएशन के रूप में एमिशन करेगा, व्हेन इट विल रेडिएट एनर्जी इन फॉर्म ऑफ रेडिएशन, जब इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है एनर्जी का रेडिएशन की फॉर्म में एमिशन करेगा तो स्लोली उसकी एनर्जी कम होती जाएगी और फाइनली जैसे जैसे एनर्जी कम होती जाएगी रेडियस सर्कुलर पाथ की, देखो भाई आई टोल्ड, देखिए रेडियस जो है किस पे डिपेंड कर रही थी, काइनेटिक एनर्जी, राइट, देख रहे थे आप. सो अब इलेक्ट्रॉन भी जब मूव करता रहेगा धीरे धीरे उसकी एनर्जी कम होती जाएगी, रेडियस कम होती जाएगी, एनर्जी कम होती जाएगी, रेडियस कम होती जाएगी, और फाइनली धीरे धीरे उसकी रेडियस इतनी कम हो जाएगी कि वो न्यूक्लियस में जाएगी, और पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव जब मिलेंगे तो एटम फिनिश हो जाएगा, तो मैटर ही फिनिश हो जाएगा. इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. सो दिस इज फर्स्ट ड्राइव कि चार्ज पार्टिकल जब मोशन में होता है देन इट रेडिएट्स एनर्जी इन फॉर्म ऑफ रेडिएशन. When it radiates energy in form of radiation, then slowly their energy decreases and radius of circular path also decreases, and finally it falls down in the nucleus. This is about first. Second thing, explanation of line spectrum. According to Rutherford model, if we take, then all the radiation should be come out from the atom. सारे रेडिएशन आने चाहिए क्योंकि उसकी एनर्जी धीरे धीरे कम हो रही, तो हर वेवलेंथ का रेडिएशन उसे एमिट करना चाहिए, बट वो कुछ पर्टिकुलर वेवलेंथ का ही एटम रेडिएशन एमिट करता है. इट मीन कुछ पर्टिकुलर लाइंस ही पर्टिकुलर सब्सटेंस के लिए मिलती है, जैसे हीलियम एटम की कुछ पर्टिकुलर लाइंस होंगी, सोडियम एटम की कुछ पर्टिकुलर लाइंस होंगी. तो इस लाइन स्पेक्ट्रम को भी ये समझा नहीं है. दीज आर टू ड्रॉबैक्स. फर्स्ट अबाउट स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ एटम, सेकंड we cannot explain the line spectrum of it, right? So these are two drawbacks. Due to that, this atomic model is not accepted. Now after that, Bohr's atomic model, Neil Bohr, he explained atomic model of atom on the basis of Planck's quantum theory. Now I am coming at a point. This is very important point for board exam. Scattering experiment is also good, but now I am going to discuss with you that is very important. Bohr's atomic model. Bohr's atomic model. What is that? Neil Bohr explained Rutherford, actually removed Rutherford model's difficulty on the basis of Planck's quantum theory. In previous video, I explained about photoelectric effect. Then I told you all that according to quantum theory, emission or absorption of radiation is not continuous. It takes place in form of some energy packets or bundles which are known as photons. I told you, emission or absorption of radiation is not continuous. Continuous नहीं होता. So on the basis of Max Planck quantum theory, he explained difficulties of he removed the difficulties of Rutherford model. Number one, these are postulates of Bohr's atomic model, which I am going to explain. Postulates of Bohr's atomic model, 2 marks question you are going to get. What are postulates of Bohr's atomic model? If they are, these 4 points you have to discuss only. Number one, what brother Bohr told? That electron cannot move in each and every orbit. Electron cannot move in each and every orbit. Electron moves around the nucleus in a definite orbit. Electron moves around the nucleus in a definite orbit, where their angular momentum. What is angular momentum? MVR, moment of linear momentum, is known as angular momentum. 11th class. What is my angular momentum? J equal to P into R. If a body is rotating, then their momentum is angular momentum. Rotational momentum, momentum into R, momentum MV, R, MVR. Moment of linear momentum is known as angular momentum. So MVR, angular momentum, equal to angular moment. Electron can move in only those orbits where their angular momentum is, whole multiple of h upon 2 pi. Here, what is n? MBR equal to nh upon 2 pi. This is your first postulate. Very important postulate. This is known as Bohr quantization condition. Bohr quantization condition. What I told? Again I am repeating. Electron can move only in those orbits where their angular momentum is whole multiple of h upon 2 pi. It means nh upon 2 pi. What is n? Principal quantum number. Energy level first, KLMN. These are principal quantum number. It is first orbit, second, third, fourth. So n is principal quantum number. Principal quantum number is always positive 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. First orbit 1, second orbit 2. They are represented by KLMN. In chemistry you all know. So this I am not going to discuss more. Again I am repeating. MBR, angular momentum, equal to whole multiple of h upon 2 pi. MBR equal to nh upon 2 pi. This is very important condition. This is known as Bohr's quantization condition. Bohr's quantization condition. Number 2. Why it is very useful? You should understand. When electron will move in these orbits where their angular momentum is whole multiple of h upon 2 pi, then it not radiates energy in form of radiation. Why? Because that is their stable orbit. Suppose that you are at home. Will you pay for everything? You are eating and drinking. अरे भाई, आप अपने घर पे होते हो तो खाने पीने के लिए क्या पैसे देते हो? अब आप कहोगे नहीं खर्चे के लिए पूरे. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट. भाई खाने पीने के आप पैसे नहीं देते हो तो आपने घर पे बनता है, खाते हो आप. सिमिलरली जब एटम इलेक्ट्रॉन अपने स्टेबल ऑर्बिट में मूव करता है तो एनर्जी का रेडिएशन के रूप में एमिशन नहीं करता. फर्स्ट इलेक्ट्रॉन किस में मूव करेगा? जिसमें उसका एंगुलर मोमेंटम h upon 2 pi का होल मल्टीप्लाई. सेकेंड, जब इसमें मूव करेगा तो एनर्जी का एमिशन या एब्जॉर्प्शन कुछ भी वो करने वाला नहीं. इसमें मूव करते हैं तो एनर्जी का कोई लॉस नहीं होता. दीज ऑर्बिट्स आर नोन एज स्टेबल ऑर्बिट. नंबर 3, दैट इज ओनली 3 postulates. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. when atom receives energy from outside, जब एटम को कहीं बाहर से एनर्जी मिल जाए, when atom receives energy from outside, then one of its electron leaves their energy level and moves to some higher energy level. अरे भाई कभी आपकी जेब में बहुत एक्स्ट्रा पैसे आ गए, व्हाट यू विल डू? मार्केट चले गए, बहुत ज्यादा आ गए तो दिल्ली चले गए भाई, या कोई अच्छे सिटी में चले गए, वहां गए, होटल में रुके, एंजॉय किया, पैसे खत्म, वापस गए. Right? Similarly, when atom receives energy from outside, one of their electron takes that energy and moves to some higher energy level. कोई इलेक्ट्रॉन ने उस एनर्जी को लिया और हायर एनर्जी लेवल में चला. There that electron remains only 10 की पावर -8 सेकंड. वहां 10 की पावर -8 सेकंड रुका, और जो उसके पास एक्स्ट्रा एनर्जी थी वो उसने रेडिएशन के रूप में रेडिएट की, एंड इट कम्स बैक टू देयर एनर्जी, और फट से अपने एनर्जी लेवल में वापस आए. दिस यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड. सपोज दैट हायर एनर्जी लेवल इज एनर्जी E2, लोअर एनर्जी लेवल एनर्जी is E1. So E2 minus E1 equal to h nu. As I told, h nu is the energy of photon. According to Max Planck quantum theory, emission or absorption of radiation is not continuous. It takes place in form of some energy packets or bundle. तो बंडल की एनर्जी जो उसने निकाला वो कितनी है? h nu. h क्या है? प्लैंक कांस्टेंट. nu क्या है? फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ लाइट. E2 क्या है? हायर एनर्जी लेवल की एनर्जी. E1 क्या है? लोअर. सो nu इक्वल टू, इफ यू वांट टू फाइंड आउट nu, कितनी फ्रीक्वेंसी निकलेगी भाई? E2 minus E1 upon h. E2 minus E1 upon h. This is known as Bohr's frequency condition. This was Bohr's quantization condition. Bohr's quantization condition. Angular momentum must be equal to 4 multiplied h upon 2. This is Bohr's frequency condition. Nu equal to E2 minus E1 upon h. So I hope it is enough for today. Tomorrow I am going to discuss about Bohr's theory of hydrogen-like atoms derivation portion, right? Derivation portion, and then few other phenomena like emission and absorption of radiation. And after that this chapter will finish. Then I will do in next video numericals of this chapter. I hope you all understand. Please keep watching these videos. Right? Prepare yourself for board exam. And any problem, write it. I will try to remove them. See you. Bye.